Hello everyone. Welcome to class Fundamentals Part A of CM1. I'm Pratap from Smears Education Solutions. We'll discuss simple interest rates in today's class. Suppose we're at time 0, we invest some amount A, it will grow to A into 1 plus I in 1 year and 1 plus Ni in n years. N is in years. Remember, this is the first formula, simple interest formula. If you deposit A, this amount will grow to A into 1 plus I after n years. It's a simple formula. You can remember A into 1 plus Ni. Let me write here simple interest formula. This is simple interest formula. Accumulated value after n years. Remember, n will always be in years. And also, period is 1 year. Here, one period is 1 year. We have n periods here. That's why n comes here. If you take n1, this will be 1 year. If you n take 10, it will be 10 year. See here, we have three variables. The initial amount deposited will be given to you. The number of years will be given to you. And then you can find interest rate I. If I is given, number of years given, then you can find A. That way it will continue. Suppose you want to deposit for 5 years, 250. A is 250 here. I will write 250 multiplied by 1 plus number of years into the interest rate. That's all. It's so simple. If I is given, you will be able to find the accumulated value of 250 after 5 years. The only requirement is I here. Suppose this is 0 and this is 3. You want to deposit for 3 years, 150. 150 will grow in 3 years to 150, sorry, 150 multiplied by 1 plus 3i. You have to remember this, though it's simple and the interest rate is simple, but at times it creates a lot of confusion. We'll discuss some problems. Let me write the formula. Next one. If this is 0 and this is 10 years and you want to deposit some amount 500 and you want to know its value, let me write here A is equal to 500. Interest rate is 10%. Remember, when we say 10%, we use I is 0.10 here in actuarial science. If you have seen some other formula before, you deposit like this after n years. This is in arithmetic. P will be accumulated to P into 1 plus N R divided by 100. So R by 100 was there. In this place, we write 1 plus Ni. We don't use R by 100. Here I means the rate of interest per unit sum assured. If you deposit 1, what is the amount? Because we have deposited 500 here. For that, we are finding It will be 500 multiplied by 1 plus 10 into I. I is again 10% here. Number of years 10, I is also 10%, that is 0.10. So the accumulated value will be 500 into 2, that is equal to 1000. Now you deposited 500 and you get 1000. Rate of interest is 10%. 10% means if you deposit 100, you get 10. You deposited 500, so you get 50 every year. Okay, let me write here. I is the rate of interest per annum per year. If I write 1 here, let me write 1 here. After 1 year, we'll see how much interest you should get. Rate of interest per annum per unit sum deposited. If I write unit sum deposited, if you deposit one amount, then I will be the interest. If you deposit 1.10, that means 10 paisa. That is the extra amount you get. I is 10 per 100. So 10 paisa per 1 rupee. So unit sum assured. That's why we write this way. We don't write 10 by 100. Forget that arithmetic formula. That's no more required here. So write this way. After 1 year, if you deposit 1, you get 10 paisa. If you deposit 100, you get 100 into 10 paisa. That way it will continue. We deposited 500. So for that, your money after 1 year will be 500 multiplied by 1 plus, see, this is for 10 years. For 1 year, n will be 1 here. So 0.10, 1.10. That is 550. Now logically you think, if you deposit 100, simple interest rate is 10. 10 per 100. That is 10%. 10% means 10 per 100. So if you deposit 100, you get 10 extra after 1 year. Your money will be 550. Formula works fine. You can find after 2 years. You just write 2, 1 plus 2 into 0.10. That way, after 10 years, your money will grow to this. Now, let's do some problems. This is the first problem using simple interest rate formula. This question says, Mr. John wants to have an interest income of $3,000 a year. How much he invests for 1 year at 8%? This is the question. So now if you draw number line, interest income of 3,000. This is interest income, extra. The extra amount he wants to have is 3,000. How much he needs to deposit, invest for 1 year at 8%. So I is given 8%. And the extra amount is given. That means whatever you deposit here at time 0 for 1 year, whatever you deposit, you get extra income. You get extra income of 3,000. So how much you need to deposit so that you will get 8% interest on your money. Here you must know what is interest income. Suppose I deposited this money and after some years, here 1 year, my money value, my final value increased to this. So my income is this. This is the extra amount I got because I deposited money in the bank or in any financial institution. Here we'll start with the bank. Here the interest income is given. That means if you deposited A, your money should be A plus 3000 after 1 year. This is the interest income. So your money increase. This part is A and this part is 3000. If you apply the formula, A should grow to A multiplied by 1 plus I in 1 year. It's only 1 year. So if you equate these two, you write A multiplied by 1 plus I, that is equal to A plus 3000. Then you try to solve this. A you can cancel from both the sides. Here AI is equal to 3000 and I is given 0.08, 8%, that is 0.08. You can put I here and A will be equal to 3000 divided by 0.08. So if you divide it by 0.08, 8 by 100, it will be 100 divided by 8. Then you can cancel the amount. You can use a calculator and then you will get the final amount. If you cancel this one, it will be 3, then 7, then 5, 3, 7, 5, 0, 0. So this is the amount you invested and you got 8% interest, simple interest. And after 1 year, you got this much interest income. If you want, you can check it whether your interest income is this or not. We can start this side once again. You can verify this way. Suppose you invested 37,500 for 1 year and interest rate is 8%. So this should grow to 37,500 into 1.08. You multiply, you check you are getting this amount or not. A plus 3000. A plus 3000 means that is 37,500 plus 3000. You will get 40,500. You can check that. Let's go to the next question. Joe deposited $2,500 in an account that pays 6% simple interest. How much money will he have at the end of 3 years? So this is a direct problem. At the end of 3 years, you need to find. Suppose this is 0 and this is 3. This is your timeline. You write 2500. Make it a practice to write this way. 2500 in an account that pays 6% simple interest, i.e. 6%, 0.06 I can write. How much money will he have at the end of 3 years? So you just apply the formula 2500 1 plus 3. This should be the answer. And then this will be 2500 1 plus 3 into 0.6, 0.06. 2950. You can check it. This will be the answer. This is number 2. Let's go down to number 3. Find the simple interest on 6,800 at 16.2 by 3% per annum for a period of 9 months. This is the question. 68,000 is the amount, and interest rate is 50 divided by 3. Okay, 50 divided by 3%. I can't write that in terms of decimal because 3, if you try to divide, you will get point something. So let's not write that way. We'll see how to do it this later. Now the time period is 9 month. So 9 month means in years you have to write. Remember, this is the formula. 0 after n years. N could be a fraction as well. So if you deposited 68,000 for 9 months, let me write this one here only, the formula. Here n could be 5, 10, 15. It could be a fraction also, like 2.5 years, 3 months, 5 months, whatever. So you just apply the formula. A is 68,000 here. 1 plus, this is the solution, this is the answer. N is 9 months here. So 9 divided by 12. N will be 9 divided by 12 multiplied by I. I is 50 divided by 3%. 50 divided by 3% we have to write. So instead of writing something which is not divisible, it will be like this. Then this percentage, so it will be 0.166, something like that. Let's write in some other way. You just divide it by 100, because 50 by 3 will be 16 point something. I've divided by 100, I got this. So let's not divide by 100 at all. You can write this way: 50 divided by 3 divided by 100. This way you can write. And then you will get directly, you need not write 0.16666. Even if you write this way, there will be some error because it's not completely divisible. Check that, it's 8,500. Next problem. Loan from a bank at a rate of 12% per annum, simple interest. Once again, after 3 years he had to pay 5,400 interest only for the period. What was the principal amount borrowed? So you need to find A here. And what is the year? 3 years. This is the period. One period is 1 year. Here 3 years is the total duration. And interest is 12% per annum. So if you deposit A, it will grow to 1 plus n is 3, I is 0.12. 12 divided by 100. You can write this way: I is 12%, then I 12 divided by 100, that is 0.12, this amount. Okay. And it says after 3 years he had to pay raise 5400 interest only for the period. So the final value is not given. What is given? The interest amount is given. So this is the amount, original amount, this is the final amount. The extra amount is the interest. It's like if you deposited 100 and you got 150 up to 3 years, so the extra amount is 50. Similarly here extra amount will be, that is given 5400, that will be equal to 5400 That will be equal to A multiplied by 1.36 minus A. That is the extra amount. If you solve this equation, you will be able to get the value of A. You can check it. A should be equal to 15,000. Next question 5. A money lender lends lays 60 and collects 66 at the end of 4 months. The rate of interest is dash. So you need to find the rate of interest here. What is the rate of interest? So we can write this way. This is 0. This is the time, 4 months, and 60 grows to 66 here. You can write this way. Then you have to find the interest rate. So if you solve this one, 60 will grow to 60 into 1 plus ni. That should be 66. The value of n is here given 4 divided by 12. I is what you need to find. Then you take 60 that side, subtract 1, then divide by 4 by 12, you will get the answer. If you solve it, you will get 30%, 0.30. Next question. In what time will 10,000 earn an interest of 2,000 at 10% per annum? You need to find the time. Suppose this is 0. We don't know n here. You deposit 10,000. It will grow at 10% and you get an interest of 2,000. That is the extra amount you get. So your money will be 12,000 after n years. You don't know what is n. So you apply the formula 10,000 1 plus ni is equal to 12,000. I is 10%. So 1 plus 0.10 n. 12,000 divided by 10,000. That will be 12 divided by 10. Then you find 0.10 n. That will be equal to 12 divided by 10 minus 1. 2 divided by 10. Then this is 10 by 100, 1 by 10. You take 1 by 10 that side. So n will be equal to 2. So in 2 years, you can check it. In 2 years, this is 0, this is 2, 10,000. In 2 years, it should grow to 10,000, 1 plus 2i. 2i, I is 10, 1.20. That is 12,000. So the extra amount he received is 2,000. This is what given here. So this is correct. In number 7, 460 you need to invest and you will get 640 in 6 years. You don't know the interest. With that interest, if you invest for 2 years, how much you will get it? Or maybe suppose you plan to deposit for 6 years. And you expected to get 640 after 6 years. This way you can think how much you will get if you withdraw money after 2 years here. For that, you need to know the interest rate. So find the interest rate here. We'll find interest rate this way. 460, 1 plus 6i. You have to solve it. 640 divided by 460. Then 6i is equal to, you can cancel this one. 64 divided by 46 minus 1. Then divide it by 6. You get I. And the final answer will be 460 into 1 plus 2i, because this is 2 years. You want to know the value after 2 years. So put I value here and check that you get 520. This is the final answer. Let's proceed further. There are two questions here. This is loan of 100 to be repaid with 120 at the end of 1 month. What was the annual interest rate? It's simple. So 100, 120 here. But it's not 1 year. If it's 1 year, you can say 20. It's 1 month. After 1 month, you got 20 extra. So if you get 20 extra in 1 month, 20 is the interest rate per month. But I is not interested per month. I is interested per year. So you have to write this formula. You write this formula 100 into 1 plus ni. N is 1 by 12 here. 1 by 12 I. That is equal to 120. If you solve this equation, 120 divided by 100, that is 1.2. Take 1 that side, multiply by 12. Finally, you will get I. It will be very high because monthly you are getting 20 extra. In 1 year, it's simple interest rate though. In 1 year, you will get a lot of amount. So it will cross 100%. Check it, it will be 240% interest, because remember I is the interest rate per annum here. It's not per month. Now number 9, discount rate 1200 for 10 months. Okay, let me draw the diagram. Discount means you are finding the present value. Discount 1200 for 10 months. Rate is given, but here simple discount is given. Okay, so there are two things I wanted to complete in today's class: simple interest and simple discount. Let me go back to the other slide. These are the two formulas for today. Zero deposited, it will grow to A deposited, it will grow to A into 1 plus I after 1 year, A into 1 plus 2I after 2 year. In 1 year, you get interest AI on A. After 2 years, it will grow to A into 1 plus 2Y. Like that, finally, we get A into 1 plus Ni. This is simple interest for n years. So this is the accumulated amount after 1 year. This is the accumulated amount after 2 years. This is the accumulated amount after n year. Now, if you want to come back here, suppose you want to get some amount after B years, suppose B is 10 years, after 10 years you want to get some amount, the discounted way you can come this side. If you want to come back side, it will be like this. B's present value will be B into 1 minus D. Then it will be 1 minus 2D. And here it will be B into 1 minus ND. D is called discount rate. I'll give you one example to differentiate between the interest rate and discount rate. Suppose you invest 100 and you got 10 extra. So that will give you 110. So I is 10%. We can understand that. Interest rate is calculated at the end of the year. If you take loan from someone, you are not supposed to give the extra amount now. After 1 year, you can repay along with your original loan amount 100 plus 10, 110 you can give. Come to this example. Instead of that, suppose you want to take loan of 100, but they are saying pay the interest now. How it is? Suppose you pay 100, you take 100, give 110 next time. They are saying no, no, that extra 10 you want to give, that amount you please give now. That means the extra amount 100 is the amount. This is the nominal amount, say 100 amount, and that guy is showing 100 amount and saying you pay interest now. So how much interest you are ready to pay now? Suppose the other guy will ask you to pay 10, so that means you will get only 90. You get 90, and after 1 year you will not pay any more interest. This is called discounted value. This is called discounted amount. That means you pay, you I mean that guy will pay you 90, you get 90, then give 100 after 1 year. Which one is better? This is better or this is better? Obviously, in the second case, you are paying more interest rate. Here I is 10%. Here I will be more than 10%, because if you are really paying 10%, receive 90, pay 99, but you will be paying 100. So at what point you are paying interest, that is also very important. If you are paying interest at the end of the year, that is I. If you are paying the interest at the start of the year, that is D. I can write this way here. This is very, very important. Let me write once again. For 1 year, if you deposit one, you get interest. And interest on one is actually I. If you invest 100, you get interest 100 I. And your final amount will be 100 into 1 plus I. That's the formula after 1 year. So this is the interest amount. If you deposited 1, you get 1 plus I is the interest amount. Here 100 I, because the interest amount on 100 will be 100 I. It's not I is per unit amount. If you get interest I per unit amount, if you deposit 100, your interest will be 100 I. So 100 plus 100 I. That way you take common 100 into 1 plus I after 1 year. This is the formula. Now in 1 year you get interest 100 I. Original amount is 100. Total is 100 into 1 plus I. So your interest amount is 100 I if you deposit 100. Now the question is, if I is 10%, suppose, if I is 10%, if you put 10% here, 100 into 1.10, that is 110. See, 10 is extra, 10%, 10 extra you are getting with this formula. Now 10 is the extra amount you are getting at the end of the year. If you are giving the loan, you are getting end of the year. So where you are getting? Here at the end of the year or the start of the year? Obviously, when money grows, if you deposit money, you get at the end of the year. If you take loan also of one, you have to pay at the end of the year. Now, can you make something where you have to pay at the start of the year, or you have to get at the start of the year? One is constant. One and this one, they are constant. Here the interest amount I we have written. Now here we want to write. So we'll deduct. That is why it is called discount. We'll deduct some amount and we'll give the loan. so that it will increase to 1. 1 minus d, 1 minus d's future value is 1. 1 minus d is present value of 1. That means it's like this. Give loan 100, take 10 after 1 year. Alternatively, you take interest now. So how much you have to give so that total should be same? I should be 10% in any case. Suppose it's given that I is 10% only. You can't charge more than 10%. Then what will happen? Think on this. If you can charge more than 10%, you are not allowed to charge more than 10%. You give 10, collect 10 extra. Give 100, collect 10 extra. That's fine. How much you have to collect now? That means deduct from his money and give. He will return you 100 next time. It's not 10 for sure. Because what will happen? If you take it 10, you give 90, then collect 100. It's not 10%, it's more than 10%. You can apply the formula. 90 into 1 plus I is 10%, because 90 will earn 99, 9 rupees. It's 99. It's 100 means it's more than 10%. If you want, you can solve the equation. It will be more than 10% here. So the amount will not be 10 here. That means you have to find the discounted value of 10. If you are keeping 10 in your hand, now you don't want to get later, so obviously that will also earn interest. It's actually 9.10. That is called D. So if I is 10%, D is 9.10%. In terms of formula, we write this way. You go on writing 0, 1, 2. This is forward. You deposit 100. Your money will grow this way. Let me write here 100. 100, 1 plus I after 1 year. 100, 1 plus 2i. 100, 1 plus 3i. It will continue. 100, 1 plus 4i. If you come here, I can start here 100. 100 into 1 minus d. I can write in place of 100 a also. Then it will be 100, 1 minus 2d. 100, 1 minus nd. 3d here. 100 into 1 minus 4d. This way you can remember. This is simple discount. That is simple interest rate. So I can summarize this one. If you deposit for n years, once you will write a will grow to a into 1 plus ni. This we know. The second one you will come across is this one. 0 n. The present value of b is b into 1 minus, here in place of I will d, 1 minus nd. This d is called discount. This is for n years. If you write for 1 year or 2 year or 5 year, you can write. Let's write for 1 year. A into 1 plus I, that is a plus ai. And here 0, 1, b's present value is b into n is 1 here, 1 minus d. So a gives ai interest, bd interest, bd discount at start gives b. So where you are giving the interest, ultimately that will matter. Due to the importance, I am giving you one final example. This will be very, very helpful later. Now suppose these are the two guys, A and B. A has 100 rupees and B also has 100. Now, A says, I will give it to someone and I will get interest. An interest rate specified by the government is I is 10%. Either you can do this way or you can do this way. D 9.10%. Now this guy says no, I will go through D way. I have 100. I will give 100 to the other guy. Suppose he is giving loan to another guy whose name is L2, loan 2. And here A is giving loan to one guy, his name is loan 1. And this guy says, take full now, but next time you give 10% interest. On 100, you give me 10 extra. And at time 1, this guy gets 10 extra. 100 plus 10 you can write, or you can apply your formula also. 1 plus ni. 1 plus n into I. 1 into I. I is 0.10. That is 110. Now, this guy says B. B says, I will go through discount way. This is specified by the government. Either you can charge 10% at the end of the year or 9.10% at the start of the year. So this guy gives 100 to L2 and says, because the discount rate is 9.1%, you give me that 9.1% now, not after 1 year. After 1 year, if you want to give, you can go to the other guy and give 10 at the end of the year. Because I will charge you less, you have to give me now. So this guy gives B 9.10 back. So that means finally this guy will take 90.90. After 1 year, he will come back and he will not pay anything extra. The nominal amount is 100 here. This is 100. This one also I can write in some other way. 100 plus 10 I can write. This 10 extra is getting 100 plus 10 extra. This is the interest amount on this loan. But this guy B will not get anything extra, zero extra here, because he has already given 9.10 at the start. That means 9.10 at the start is equivalent to 10 at the end. That is what you need to understand. Now check whether 9.10 at the start, that is 10% or not. In other words, you check how much both the guys A and B they will have at the end of 1 year. This guy is clearly 110. But how about this guy? If you say no, he didn't get interest, but 9.10 is the amount he deducted from this guy and gave 90.90. So 9.10 is there. And if you add this to 100, so you say no, this guy B got 109.10 and A got 110. So A got something more. If you analyze this way, this is not correct. This is not correct because you are not considering the time value of money. Suppose B deposits 9.10 in a bank which gives 10%. 9.10 here and 9.10 here, they are not equivalent. This 9.10, this will also grow. You check at 10%, it will grow to 10. It's not 9.10, it's 10. So 100, this is actually 10. 9.10 value here, that is actually 10, because With time, money value changes. That's how we say time value of money. 9.10 here is equivalent to 10 here. So ultimately, where you are paying the interest, at the start or at the end, or where you are charging the interest, at the start or at the end. If you are charging the interest at the start, it should be less than I, because I is collected at the end. So that's why D is less than I. This is something very important. It will come time and again. You need to follow this. Now let's proceed further. If you remember, this was the question: discount rates 1200 for 10 months at a rate of simple discount of 4.5%. What is its present value? Very, very simple. Just apply the formula. You write 1200, 1 minus ND. Minus will come here. That's all. If D is given, you need not worry. 4.5%. D is 4.5% here. Directly it's given. So if D 4.5% given, then D will be equal to 0.045, that is 4.5%. So 0.045 you can write, and then it will be 1 minus 12 by 10. You find everything, okay? 10 into 0.045 divided by 12, and that will be equal to 1155. You can check it. That means in 10 months, this will increase to this. Now, if you ask me what is the interest in 10 months, it's not 45. It's not 45. 45 is not the interest here. I mean, I'm talking about discount. 45 is not the discount here. Discount rate means here it's discounted. If you want to know the interest rate, you have to apply the formula. I mean, 4.5% is the discount rate. Interest rate, if you want to know, you can know interest rate here. You don't know I here. If you want to find I, you have to do separately. You have to write this way: 1 plus 10 by 12, I is equal to 1200. You solve it and find I. Even I is not required here. I is different from D. Obviously, I will be a little bit more than D. D is directly given, and you are asked to find the present value. That's all. Let's go to the last problem. Calculate the discounted value of 1000 due in 1 year at a simple interest rate, at a simple discount rate. Both are given now. Here you will get the last chance to understand. Discounted value of 1000. So 1000 is the amount that is final, and you have to find the discounted value of 1000. 1 year, due in 1 year. So you have to find the value here. You have to find the value here. Discounted value of 1000. Now what is given? Simple interest rate 7%, okay? And simple discount rate of 7%. If discount rate is given, easily I can find. Let me write part B, because you are finding the present value. Discount will be the direct way. 1000. So if D is given, I can write 100 into 1 minus, this is 1 anyway, 0.07. D is given. I applied the formula 1 minus ND. N is 1 here. So direct, this is the direct formula. How about this? This is something you need to understand. Let me write once again. Normally, I'm saying with I, we go forward, we find the accumulated value. In the main classes, you will see these are the fundamental classes. You will have absolutely no problem in future. When you are finding discounted value, you apply this formula. With D, you can find the discounted value. With I, you are finding the accumulated value, the future value. Now, here, whatever this is 930, if you deposit, it will grow to 1000. So, what is I? No, 7% discount rate. With 7% discount rate, we found this one. So, if you find the interest rate, that would be different. With 7% interest rate, you want to find here in part A. So, what will happen is, we don't know. Suppose the amount is A here, you write A here, you write this formula A into, because R is I is given, using I you will do that. A into 1 plus I should be equal to 1000. You solve this, find the value of A. That is the first thing. A will be equal to 1000 divided by 1 plus I here, 1.07. That will be equal to 100, 1000 divided by 1.07. Okay, that is equal to, I'm not sure, you can check it properly. So this is the amount, and if you deposit this amount 934.58, it will grow at 7% I to 1000. It will grow to 1000, 7% I. But now the question is, calculate the discounted value of 1000 due in 1 year. This is the discounted value, right? So how you calculate? It will depend whether I is given or D is given. Yeah, I wanted to compare with this one. See, 930,000 here, 934, 58,000 here. Think on this once again. It's exactly like, yeah, I've written here, A grows to A into 1 plus Ni, A into 1 minus Nd grows to 1. So, I mean, whatever way you want, from this way, that way you write, it doesn't matter. For the forward, if I is given, directly you can apply. For the backward, if D is given, directly you can apply. If you want to find the present value using I, you can use this way. So here, even you don't know D. If you want to know D, you can do one step extra. They didn't ask you to find D. So if you want to know D here, you check D is not 7%. Here D is 7%. Here D is not 7%. Here I is 7%. If you want to D, you can find it. Even if you want to know I here, you can solve this one. 930, 1 plus I, it's 1 year, right? Yeah. If you solve this one, you will get I corresponding to this D. If you want to get D corresponding to this I, they didn't ask you. You have to write this one, A into, A means 1000 into 1 minus ND, 1 minus D. If you solve this one, you will get D corresponding to 7% I. And here, if you solve this one, you will find I corresponding to D of 7%. That's all for today's class. We'll have 2 more fundamental classes. If you are really getting the concept, you can like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to keep up with our latest content. Thank you.